What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here today for a CGC submission video. That's right, we are sending some cards off to good old CGC specifically for the Jim Lee signing event that they are doing through their CGC Signature Series program. Sending in 4 cards, $120 a card. I went through a lot of thought process on what to send in because I just really wanted to send in about 50 cards, but that's obviously not realistic because I have bills. So I had to whittle this down. It took a hot minute to try to figure out what I wanted to send and then eliminate things, and I was all over the place. Listen, CGC king of, or I'm sorry, PSA king of grading. They get the most resale value in the world. Fine, whatever. One of the biggest edges that I think CGC has that they have not leveraged yet fully is CGC Signature Series. They have access to specifically a lot of artists, but also they get a lot of actors and actresses through on the Signature Series side of things. You know, you could get Haley Steinfeld. I've seen a lot of the Game of Thrones cast to go through there before. A lot of Marvel people, a lot of Star Wars people. They get a lot of people through the door that I would have sent cards in for, but they didn't offer it. Now, they have not fully blown out the program yet. They're still dipping their toes in. They've done 2 so far. They did a Todd McFarlane and they did a Rob Liefeld. I was going to send stuff for the Rob Liefeld and then just missed the window on it. Sent it for the McFarlane. You know, I got these McFarlanes back. Really pleased with the way that they went. I got 3 of them left. I think I submitted 5. I sold 2, and I'm planning on keeping 2 of these. One of these is, this one's still actually available if someone needs it. But McFarlane 1 does a great job with what pen to use for the ink choice. They did custom labels for this one. There will not be custom labels for the Jim Lee one. And they have redesigned their Signature Series label. But generally speaking, they do a really nice job. And anyone that watches the channel knows I do grade mostly with PSA, but I love the CGC slab. That thing is just crystal clear. I like that they do the, you know, like signed by and what day that it was on. So you know exactly when it was signed. And once again, Todd does a great job. Like using the white paint pen to match the black and white of the Venom, and then using the blue, it really pops on the Wolverine. These are the 2 that are staying in the PC. These aren't going anywhere. But excited to send off some Jim Lee stuff. Jim Lee was really what really hooked me into comics. Prior to the X-Men, got me interested in the X-Men. I was curious on what the X-Men were. And then when I went to the store and went to the newsstand, there it was, Jim Lee, X-Men #1, and hooked. And then the trading card set came out right after that. I mean, it was all bad, for the younger version of me, and spending all his money on comics and Marvel cards from there on forth. But let's get into the reason that we're here. Sending 4 cards in. We went back in time a little bit for some of these. First up, from the box opening that I did the other day. This is from the 1992 Jim Lee X-Men set. Magneto card. Just a base card. This is one of my favorite cards from the set. I had some other ones I considered sending. The X-Men team photos, both gold and blue, I was strongly considering. And then 2 things swayed me off of it. One, they're horizontal cards. So, you know, if you had to display one of these horizontal, it just, I don't know, it looks weird with the label. 2, since there's so much going on those cards, because you have the whole team photo there, pretty much no matter where he signs, he's going to be signing over like the faces. There's not a good spot for him to sign on there. I guess he could probably squeeze it into the corner, but a combination of those 2 things steered me away from that. I was going to send the Wolverine card. The Wolverine card is also horizontal in that set. I thought I had one that was clean, but upon further inspection, it had a little mark down at the bottom. You know, I don't necessarily care if these grade 10. I'm perfectly happy with a 9, hell, even an 8.5 on the right card. I don't even care. I'm just sending it in more for the auto. If it grades well, that's just bonus on top of it. So Magneto's going in. I actually already own this card in a PSA 10. Like I said, I just absolutely adore the artwork to this card. Always one of my favorites from that set. Big fan of Magneto. So that is card number 1. Card number 2, also from the 92 set. The Wolverine hologram. Don't mind the little flakes and stuff. That's just dust that's on the card saver. I was really torn on this one. I'm not like the biggest fan of this card. Depending on what this grades, this would be one that I would potentially sell. I'm leaning towards keeping it when it comes back. Like I said, we'll kind of see what it comes back grade wise. It's perfectly fine card. The main reason I am sending this one is just because I actually think it looks pretty clean. I am concerned. I don't know, how will the autograph work on the hologram? I assume a paint pen will work just fine. I'm also worried these are extremely condition sensitive. So, you handle this thing slightly wrong and you will jack the edges or a corner up very easily. So I'm a little concerned about that. I'm rolling a dice here that I think this looks clean and I think it has a decent shot to grade really well. And the idea of a Jim Lee autographed hologram in a high grade, I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna trust my gut. We're gonna roll the dice and see what happens. It'll be a cool card either way, but that's kind of my angle on this one. I have pack pulled one of these in the past and graded it a PSA 10. I ended up selling that card, but I kind of know what I'm looking for on these hologram cards, and this one meets the criteria. It looked really clean right out of the pack, so we're gonna see how that goes. The 2 cards I am probably the most excited for, both from 1990 Marvel Universe. We have the base Wolverine card. That is Jim Lee artwork. Once again, don't mind the dust and stuff on these. Always love this card. Always love this artwork. Moving in the background, whole 9 yards. This one always hit really, really good. This one was a PSA 9 crack out. I got it for like $15 or something. I just wanted a copy that I knew was in pretty good shape. I didn't want to pay a premium for PSA 10 because who knows if it would grade the same. But I wanted to make sure that I got a decently clean copy. And I was pretty picky. This was definitely a buy the card, not the grade thing. Because the centering is pretty good on this. It's off top to bottom. Left to right's pretty solid, but you can see the top is definitely a little more narrow than the bottom. So I'm hoping at minimum a 9. Maybe this gets a 9.5. The rest of the card looks really, really good. It's just that top to bottom centering. But I've always really loved the artwork on this card. Love the design of 90MU. It is my all-time favorite Marvel set. So super excited to send this one off. And then to go along with that, we are going to send the Sister card. One of my favorite cards as a kid. This looks so great in the hologram. It is the hologram version of the Wolverine. This card just really pops. I mean, look. That is some 90s goodness right there. I mean, that just looks sublime. The nice thing about these, it's on that white cardstock, so you can handle it a little bit and you don't got to worry about completely jacking the card up. Where these get killed all the time are centering. Half the time when these come out of the pack, they are way off centered. The other thing is the surface. The surface on these are really, really rough. PSA 10s of these do exist. They sell for fortunes, and they are very hard to get off of people. I don't even know if there's any available on the market. I know people that are hunting for them, and I know the people that have a lot of them, and they are not even considering selling. So it's a matter of there's not a lot out there, and the ones that do exist are tucked away, and they are not seeing the surface anytime soon. This one, same thing on this one. This was a PSA 8 crack out. PSA 9s of this actually sell for a decent amount of money. I picked up a PSA 8 for like 30 or 40 bucks on ComC, had it shipped home and cracked it out. Once again, same thing. I just wanted to know that I was just look how good that looks like that. just like stopped me dead in my tracks, just looking down at that card through the camera lens and in front of me. Like, look how that pops. My goodness. I'm gonna need a minute. I'm gonna go need to take a shower. Um, sorry, I got very distracted. I just looked down and I just happened to be holding it at like the perfect angle. What was I even talking about? I have no idea. Oh yeah, PSA 8 crack out because I wanted something that I knew was in pretty decent shape. This is off-centered a little bit, left to right. Surface, not perfect, but not like decimated like some of these are. I have pulled, having opened a bunch of 90MU. I have opened some of these holograms, and they are just an utter disaster. So if this comes back in 8, I'm perfectly happy with that. I actually think this could bump to like an 8.5, maybe even a 9. I thought they were a little harsh on this one. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'd be perfectly happy if it came back in 8. Really, I'd be perfectly happy if it just comes back in one piece. I almost don't even really care about the grade. This is the card that I am the most excited to send in. I love this card. I love Wolverine, and I love the way this card looks. Super excited to get these back and display. Like, this will be awesome on both. These will be awesome on display with like my Hulk 181, and like this will be awesome on display with, you know, like the Jim Lee X-Men covers and stuff like that. So very excited to get all these back. Excited to send these out. I got to get these boxed up and sent out. When you are watching this, I don't know the exact day that it's going up yet. The deadline is early November. I don't remember the exact day. In the back of my mind, I feel like it's the 10th. So you might have a little bit of time to send something in if you got something laying around. And then they usually take a while to get back to you. The McFarlane one took months because they got to send them in. He's got to sign them all and they got to grade them all. It's a whole process. So that's what's going off. I'm already excited to get these back to see what the grades are. That's all I got for you, boys and girls. Catch you on the next one. Peace.